Thank you for joining us this evening, everybody. We're here tonight to talk about a relatively new product from ZT and how it compares to a Kershaw. We're going to open them up, get into the guts, figure it out, probably drink whiskey. Knife drop. We should take it apart on camera.
She's just doing the clip right now. So we should probably say it's the 0357, which if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you saw the model number. So the 0357 and the Link. And we specifically brought the 0357 with the 20 CV and the Link with the 20 CV. So they're slightly different sizes, but I mean, you'll see obviously they are. Hold on, let me steal this from you.
There are a lot of similarities.
I mean, the overall shape and design is, crazy similar. I mean, obviously the lanyard holds a little different. Grinds are a little...
Same steel?
I mean, a little different.
Same steel?
That blade is so...
The blueprint is the same.
Both have speed safe.
Yeah.
Whatever. Sorry. Here, you can have this.
Okay.
Do we think that there are going to be any major internal differences?
Absolutely not.
I noticed that the liner lock on the ZT is much more prominent than on the Kershaw. Much thicker. I mean, that's the only main one that I've seen so
Do you
far.
think that's specific to maybe this 357, like the differences in mass production maybe fluctuate a little bit? Or are you talking about the overall thickness of the liner?
Thickness of the liner.
Oh, the overall thickness of the liner. Okay, that makes sense.
I did notice one thing as well. So, this uses handle screws from both sides. The Link does.
No, this does too. Oh no, wait, those are embedded in the G10.
Exactly, yeah. So there's something. It's going to be a little
so
different.
So they have anchor points on the back side and long screws on the front.
This is different because, like the Link, that specific Link, which is a 20 CV assisted knife with ball bearings, right?
Well, we're gonna find out here, and I seriously doubt.
I don't think so.
No. Ball bearings and spring assist is like,
they don't really go hand in hand.
Well, I mean, that's...
You can do a turbocharger and a supercharger, but very rarely does anybody do both.
I need another T6.
Another? Why, is that one trash?
It's just loose.
No. Here.
Oh, perfect. Someone hold that steady.
Here, wait, move it onto the mat.
With our powers combined, she's Captain Planet.
We're now the Wonder Twins.
Oh, we good.
We bereave in you.
Thanks.
I'm glad we're doing this off camera, too.
We can move it on. Moving. There we go.
This is a production.
It should be,
You're a production.
I don't know. Okay, so just at the onset, before we get it apart, who prefers the aluminum to the G10?
I like aluminum. You can change it a lot easier.
Well, this is very 0350 to me, or 0350 TS, or 0350 ST, or whatever you want to, whichever variation you care. This is very entry-level ZT to me.
It is.
But entry-level ZT, okay, so you get S30V at $140.
Yeah.
And with this you get 20 CV at $175.
157.
157. Oh,
For the
cheaper.
black wash.
For the black wash, so even less for the, I don't know the exact price offhand, but
okay.
yeah,
All
even
right.
less.
So not far off from the 350.
Yeah.
I think this is before anything else, in comparing it to the Kershaw. This is a vast improvement over the 350 chassis.
Yes.
I would agree. I would never pick the 350 over this.
Oh, no.
Considering the steel and the ergonomics of it and the overall looks, I would never pick the 350. No offense to Ken Onion, I collected the 300 chassis in all its variations, but I don't know if I dig the aluminum.
I wonder if the spring's the same.
Oh, like if they're
The
interchangeable.
torsion bar? Yeah.
Between the Link and the 0357? That's model number?
357.
357.
The 0357. I assume they prefer it to be referred to as the round.
Can I just call it the Magnum?
Yeah.
Well, the last one was the 308.
Yeah.
Their last big release was the 308.
Yeah.
And then, now it's the 357, but...
So I like aluminum for a handle material, but in
It
this...
doesn't wear all that great, though.
It doesn't, and I'm not worried about scuffs on the
Setting it there so it's all together.
But in this instance, I don't know why,
No, that's-
I know so much more about this G10 than this aluminum.
So the big controversy is that for half the price, you can get the link with the same steel and near the same action.
Well, we should say, so what does that link cost?
$75.99.
$75.99 as opposed to
$157.
$157 for the black wash.
For the black wash.
But still roughly double the price, give or
Yeah.
take.
That
The
is
options.
basically the same thing.
Oh,
Okay,
damn.
here's a real
Look
test.
at that.
Can we swap blades?
I'm
Oh,
going to.
shit.
Swap blades or swap springs?
How about we
I
swap
don't
blades?
think-
How about we swap blades and springs, and see how close they really are for double the money?
That is a good point.
Damn.
Because I mean, if the geometry with the blades is the same and the geometry with the springs is the same, you're basically making a choice between a G10 handle and an aluminum handle, right?
Are they doing brand marketing like GM does?
How do the blades look?
Where you can buy a
Side by
Lincoln.
side.
Oh,
Nope,
sorry, no.
you
Yeah.
can't.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can't because the stop bar is different.
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's try to change the springs.
Okay, well, other than the stop bar placement, I mean, how similar are these blades?
They're pretty similar.
Let's make sure the top cam can get a juicy look at this. So we've got the 357 on top there with a very interesting.
Here, let me see a pivot real quick. Sorry, I interrupted you.
You've got the top bar.
Here,
You can
this
see
one.
there is some serious differences between the two as far as internal design. I wonder why they do that. Maybe it's a better lockup. So when you put serious pressure on
I think
it,
it makes it look like a cleaner design.
so not
So
necessarily.
you don't have a lock bar that's visible. You have one that's kind of buried. So if you put these through, the pivot's a different size on the ZT. But if you put these through the same pivot and you line up the points,
They're
so
so similar.
it's
There's
really,
a
I
lot
mean,
of
the
similarity,
belly
yeah.
is almost identical, but
Are you
I mean,
saying
there are
it might be
little
the-
changes. Little changes. You can see the trigger comes out a little bit bigger on the Kershaw. The choil's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit prouder up here. But overall length and belly are super similar.
I'm
So
noticing
the-
there's more machining work
The
on it
ZT
too.
has a guide for like the stop pin. Like this notch here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay. Let's go there. We're gonna do this.
I bet we
part.
could trade washers.
Ooh.
Will it fit?
Only one
Pivots are
way
different
though.
sizes.
They know.
Yeah. The pivot on the ZT is bigger. If you because this is the Kershaw pivot.
Yeah.
If you throw it in that ZT blade, it's got some play. All right, so there are overall differences.
It's
But,
because they don't want people mixing and matching hardware.
well,
I don't know if it.
but I mean, aesthetically, do any of those differences really matter to any of you?
No.
I mean, it's the same metal.
And it's half the price.
Maybe it's just like the black wash that's winning me over, but I still.
I think you're a brand snob.
I am. I'm not. I'm not going to deny that. I will never deny that. But
That's all right. I can't be too.
I don't like the look of the hand or the
That's the ZT
scales.
one.
I know.
Okay.
we're trying to make it work.
She's trying to see
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I was just making sure.
I don't like the look of the scales of the
ZT?
Kershaw.
Oh, really? You don't like the? Okay. Well, do you not like the look of the design, or do you
Yeah.
not like the color?
Just
you don't
the
like
design.
The
I like
overall
the color.
design?
The
I
OD
like
is
that
nice.
green,
But doesn't the Link have like 4 or 5 different handle designs?
Oh,
Yeah.
But
really?
not
Yes.
not all
Yeah.
not all available in the 20CV.
Yes, exactly.
They have M390 ones available too.
I'd go
Really?
for that.
Yeah.
Are those different designs interchangeable with the ZT?
Well, no, actually, I'm guessing the handle would definitely not be interchangeable. 'Cause the handle is a little bit smaller on the ZT.
I'm going to touch on that brand snob question one more time, Mike, directed at you. When's the last time you had a Kershaw in your pocket?
Never. I don't think.
You have a Kershaw Blur with
Oh,
SG2.
I do have a Kershaw
Ah.
Blur with SG2. And I have one with carbon fiber inlays and an aluminum handle. So I have owned 4 blurs over the course of my life, and
Yeah.
I have a reverb at home. But in all honesty, I never use it, and my wife uses it in the kitchen. And every time I close it, she hands it back to me. And she goes, "Fuck you, keep this thing open." So I have to open it and leave the reverb. I have a little, like they did these little shelves that you take off the plate on your
Yeah,
outlet. When you
yeah.
put the shelf on, put the plate back, has this little shelf, and a Kershaw reverb sits there. So anytime you
Nice.
gotta open something in the kitchen,
That's
she just
the
grabs the
reverb.
reverb
Right
off
on.
the. So I do have
cryo
that.
for the longest time.
I think
I
I'd
had a
be,
modified. I did take a cryo, and I modified it and fucking high polished it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Buy our powders combined.
The Blur was like the first knife that I can like remember in my like adult life like having and really enjoying.
That was my first high quality
Yeah.
American made good steel knife was the
Yeah.
Blur. And I still love the Blur and I still appreciate it and I still own one.
Yeah.
But I do have the carbon fiber insert instead of the rubber insert with the SG2 blade. So I have a hybrid.
Man, they came with an M4 Blur sprint round a while ago, and I fucking still am kicking myself for not buying that.
I actually think I would own something like this because the spec sheet versus the price really intrigues me. Plus, it's American made.
Yeah, it has the little flag on it.
I'd give it to my buddy who gave me that.
Sog.
That's not.
That's really
Why?
nice of you.
You're fucking, dude, yeah, you're
giving
doing him
him
a
a huge
favor.
upgrade.
Here, by the way, have something decent.
Oh my
Since you
God.
gave me a $40.
Like,
I don't want to call it a piece of hot garbage, but it's, you know.
can I fire it or do we want to wait a moment? Your hands are so warm. Jeez, this thing's
Well,
hot.
she's been fucking with it for a while. And that's with the ZT Spring, right?
Shit.
It's got more snap.
Got the wrong washer in there.
Really? Oh, because this one doesn't fit and that one does because it's too big.
Yeah, I just grabbed one, not even thinking about that.
I don't know. Okay, so where are we landing on this dichotomy here? I'm a very big ZT fan. I've owned more ZT knives than any other brand I've ever owned. Even than Microtech, even than Benchmade, even than anything. I've owned more ZT knives than anything else. And I don't, if the Link didn't exist, I do like this. Like I said, the 350 was the first ZT I ever owned. I always have a spot in my heart for that knife. But this, it's not enough. This is eating its lunch. I mean, the Link it's cannibalizing its market share.
I think that I might like, even though I seem to be alone at the table here, I feel like there might be a fair group of people who
I don't know.
are willing
You
to
are
pay
sitting at the table.
twice as much for that ZT, and I'm one of them. I would do
I
it.
feel like it's gonna die real quick though.
I don't feel like it's going to be around for, I give it, so what, this is 2020 model, came out this year. I bet by 2022, it's not even available.
You know what this?
You think the 350 is going to outlive it?
Well, I don't know what their contract looks like with Onion,
That's true.
but that 350 is holding on by its fucking fingernails for some reason.
Yeah.
So would this be something to buy and hold on to for a few years?
I do not see it that way.
Can we hold?
The 300 definitely, but who saw that coming? Aside from me, because I had all of them.
You know what I think?
But I do not see the 350 as having that collectible value, and I don't see this 357 as holding that collectible value. I do like the overall design. I do think it's cool, but the Link is. I don't understand the 357's purpose with the existence of the Link, aside from brand recognition.
This is what I think. And people are, this is probably why there's so much hubbub about this on the internet, is they make essentially the same knife for half the price. Are they effing us? If I buy this ZT, am I a fool because I can buy almost the exact same knife for literally half the price, and they're still making money on that? How greedy are they with their brands?
Well, I had a grandfather who worked at a meat processing plant, and so they had these machines, right? He was like a foreman in the factory. They had these machines, and all these packages of hot dogs would come down the processing line after they've been packaged and everything, down past the labeler. And the labeler would just slap the label on there. And so it was like Oscar Mayer. I'm going to make up names here because I don't remember. But it was like Oscar Mayer, Oscar Mayer, Oscar Mayer. And then the labels would run out. So they just take the label, they'd take the spool out, they'd put in a label of the generic brand and kick the machine on. And it would now the exact same shit coming down would have the generic label on it. Boom, 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 boom. And it was like, why would you do that? And he goes, because we get everybody who wants the name and we get everybody who wants the value. So now they get everybody that wants the name and they get everybody that wants the value. So why not? Why not be your own generic brand?
Yeah.
Because in this day and age, people have the internet and they can research it and they can
Okay,
get
well,
upset.
back in the
everybody does.
80s
That's
at a
not
meat
true.
packing plant, they didn't have that. But I mean, still, you might be able to fucking, I mean, this is a change up. You might be able to get that pitch by every once in a while. And if you get it by and it works and this takes off, well then look, now you're streamlining production, you're streamlining design, you're streamlining all those things, and it might just be a strike. You know what I mean? It might just get by the consumer, and they wouldn't care.
And let's think about it like right the same way as that. Whether the consumer realizes it or not, right? They're buying a ZT, they're buying a Kershaw. At the same time, regardless of what they buy, KAI is on top. Like
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like they're getting their money either way.
No. And they do make the best kitchen knives on them.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That little weird bend they have in the spring, I think adds a little bit more tension because it feels snappier. And I wonder if we're going to put that spring in there now and it's not going to feel as snappy as this one.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of butt dyno fucking diagnostics. You know what I mean? Like I put a short ram air take on my car and it feels peppier.
That's why.
I don't mean that as an insult. I'm just
No,
saying.
no.
Like,
That's
I don't
why
mean it.
when I do certain things, I look for people who have legit dyno sheets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm going to do some stupid upgrade that everyone says to do, I want some actual science behind it. Not on a Tuesday in a cold morning it made 2 more horsepower.
Yeah, right.
Or some dude who spends $80 on a water pump because it gives him 15 more horsepower. It doesn't work that way. Does not. Anyway, that's sidelining.
Overall, I do. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Oh, no, I was just thinking about putting a water pump in my Fusion.
But I gotta say, I mean, if you're just going stylistically,
The ZT wins.
the ZT definitely wins.
Yep.
This is, I don't know. It's almost kind of like
is
a
G10?
generic
Yeah.
robo design that was like done in China and made on a mill with some aluminum, and then there
Is
you go. We
G10
just
more
throw it out there.
expensive?
Yeah.
Than aluminum?
Yeah.
G10 is
I think so.
no. I would be amazed if G10 was more expensive.
So then that's not necessarily a cost benefit for the consumer if they know
Well,
their stuff.
it is if the G10 is bought and machined in America, and the aluminum is bought and machined in China. But this is USA made,
How much?
or is
of
it
that-
USA assembled?
Exactly. How much of it has to be USA made for them to?
I
be
mean,
able to make
because they have
claim?
that flag on there backwards.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's on the back side, so it's supposed to be backwards. But I don't know. I don't know what constitutes a USA SKU.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tough. I would be surprised if 100% of it was done in the U.S.
You know,
Well,
guaranteed the screws are from the same Chinese manufacturer
Yeah.
that every other screw, every other screw and every other knife they do. I'm guaranteed the clips are from the same place. I mean, 20CV is obviously from Crucible. So
Yeah.
the steel is from America,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they could very well be sending the steel over to China to be machined, finished, and heat treated and brought back because it's cheaper to do it that way than it is to do it in the States.
When did
And
this
we know
specific SKU launch?
This spring, right?
No. This
Oh,
specific
really?
SKU, the
The
link is
OL.
what? 08? Is it 18 or 19?
No, with the 20CV.
Oh shit, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
I don't- I
I
don't
know the
know.
link launched in 2018. I want to say. I don't know. The internet will.
I was going to say
but
if it launched a month or 2 after March, it's very likely that that was made in the U.S.
it didn't launch that recently. This is
Okay.
easily over a year old. This is probably coming up on 2 years old. The link is.
Man, we are
It
not
started with
riding
gray-
this wave at all.
Started with gray handles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gray handles, black liners.
I think it's a cool looking knife.
I don't dislike the design at all.
I mean, if you Cerakoted it like seafoam or something, that'd be pretty cool.
Well,
You know what?
you have a seafoam spray paint can. My only problem with this is that both of them exist.
Robin's
One or the
egg.
other I'm cool with. But the fact that both of them are there, I don't understand the benefit. I mean, like, if there was an Audi R8 and a Volkswagen R8, and one of them was half the price, which one would you fucking buy? I mean, I guess you buy the Audi R8 if you have more money than sense. But if there's a Volkswagen R8 and it's half the price and it's still the V8
And then we're
with
back
the
on
20
that
CV,
brand snob.
exactly. Like,
and this
why are
is-
you buying that? If you're just buying off a spec sheet, if you're buying off a spec sheet and it doesn't have the brand name at the top, who is buying this?
Well, I mean, me. I would buy the ZT. Well, obviously, if it doesn't have the brand name.
But if it doesn't have the brand name, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, but I would buy this.
So what you're saying is
I don't
that
know. I can't. I'm not gonna.
he is the customer that Iococca was fucking over in the 80s. It's like, you can have the basic Chevy product, or you can have the fancy product, which is literally the exact same thing, but we changed the front clip.
Yeah.
Does that spring not work in there? Oh, okay.
No,
Please,
it works just fine.
All the grease is on my fingers.
Seems to be fine. Big hand to Lori for doing all the
Yeah, for real.
doing all the work there.
Hey, I held it in place.
Yeah.
Just looking at it, I like the ZT.
You know, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that just looking at it, the ZT is a much better knife. But is it worth double the
Their
price?
spring
No.
is better. So if you own a Link and you want a better spring,
Get a ZT spring?
get a 357 spring because
That's not a butt dyno
I
thing?
had to loosen the spring on that one, and it wobbles.
The ZT definitely
Oh, it
felt
does.
better before
Yeah.
the spring.
Yeah, that's true. That is slower. It's audibly slower.
So one has a bend
And-
in it. I had
And
to
it's
loosen-
loose enough that you can notice it. And this is way tight and
Like a tiger?
very,
It is.
very much
That
faster.
didn't even open all the way.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so
The 357 has a better
so
spring.
buy a Kershaw and then ask for a ZT spring.
Yeah, and they probably will send you one.
Save some money.
Actually, if you want to save some weight, I guess you can go with the 0357 because this is visibly smaller.
The poundage is less too. The weight,
The poundage.
the poundage.
All right, so the takeaway here is that buy the ZT is what you should do.
No.
The takeaway here is
Oh, wait, is that not?
we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Don't listen to us.
I do like the clip on the ZT.